Hi, this is Dave Johnson. I'm with the Royal Alliance, which is a family of Nikken distributors, and I'm just really excited to share with you some ideas. And we are monitoring this call on Google Plus and Facebook chat, and all you have to do is just search for the Royal Alliance, and we'll pop right up. And so you can text a message to us or shout on Twitter, and our username is Royal Alliance, #1, numeral 1. But also, remember to add Royal Alliance to your Google circles, and let's get the word out. But I'm really privileged to have a new friend, William Black. He's the president of RI Training with us. And oh boy, we've got another book. And so we're going to just kind of give a little bit of a book report today. When I first got into the wonderful world of network marketing, this is back in the 1970s, something really stuck in my head, and I was really profoundly affected by this statement that where you will be in 5 years depends upon the books you read, the people you associate with, and at that time the tapes that you listen to. And I'm still a profound believer in that, that we can direct our lives by directing our thoughts, and of course we ought to carefully and prudently choose what kind of thoughts come into us, and a lot of that is through these books. And okay, 6 Figures in 6 Months. That's the name of this book. And when I first saw that I was just a little bit, frankly, skeptical, because I've heard all my life that it takes at least a couple of years, probably 3 to 5 years, to make it in any business, especially traditional businesses. You can just work your guts out, put lots of capital at risk, and most businesses don't even make it. But the ones that do, it usually takes about 5 years to even be in the black at all. And so 6 figures in 6 months. Now, on the other hand, myself, several leaders, when we joined Nikken, 6 months later, we were earning a 6-figure income. However, in another way, it really wasn't 6 months, because I had 15 years of practice in the wonderful world of network marketing before I joined. And so, in a sense, it was 15 years and 6 months I was making 6 figures. But one of the things that, after reading this book that Dennis Estes introduced me to, I thought, you know what? One of the most important things when I brought into the Nikken business and was able to do that was my experience. And one of the exciting, powerful things is that learn from the experts, and you can gain experience from someone else. Your own experience a lot of times is just too expensive, and probably the magic of this book right here is something that's really different than any other book that I've talked about. And the difference on this really is that it employs stories, and I think that's how our brains operate. We think in terms of stories, and they sink into the mind, into the heart very easily, and it's just well written. And in a way, if you've ever gone to a movie or read a really good novel, it's almost like you're transported right into there, and everything kind of goes away, and you feel things. And this book is just very cleverly written as a person that journeys through all of these things, and you're role-playing and experiencing this. And I think this can be just a tremendous accelerator, just a powerful modifier of our behavior. And so this can shape things in an astonishing way. And so, yeah, this is possible. Somebody getting in with a desire and coming in with full speed, I believe, could do that. Now, on the other hand, that might take somebody 6 months before they even pick up that book. It might maybe take a year before you really decide you want to do this. But if you have the desire and embrace this book and go into it, I think there's some real possibilities. So I would like to have William, if you could just kind of tell your story, how you got involved in this journey with RI, and a little bit about the book, and also if you've had some experience.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay, Dave?
I can.
Excellent. Well, first of all, thank you for the privilege of being with you at this event, this Google Hangout today. I really appreciate the chance to to get to know not just you, but this entire Nikken organization. It's been a thrill. I've appreciated the interaction with all of the wonderful leaders. Appreciate the interaction with Dennis Estes, Reed Nilsson, Ruth Williams, just so many wonderful people that we've had the chance and privilege to start getting to know a little bit as we've partnered with you in helping everyone to be able to do what you're asking them to do more effectively. And we're going to maybe hear that word quite a number of times over the next few minutes together. That's really at the heart of everything that RI training does. RI training was founded upon the premise that predictability in business could and should and ought to apply to the industry of direct selling and network marketing. The founder of RI training, Mr. Clay Stevens, who was the author of that book that you were showing a minute ago, this is somebody who not only has experience in earning six figures in network marketing, he's done it 3 different times with 3 different organizations. And the first time, to your point, it took a lot longer than 6 months. And the second time it was a little easier, and the third time it happened in 6 months, just like you were saying. So actually having experience, practicing, etc., all of this matters. Now, one of the keys here is how do we take that and streamline the process so that we actually build a predictable pathway so you don't have to skin your knees and struggle for 10, 15, 20 years, which is more common than maybe some realize. And what can we do to provide a pattern, a success pattern that lets people jump in wherever they are and predictably build and create the success that they deserve and that they want? And so I got involved with RI training right in its early beginnings. When we started RI training, Clay Stevens had this dream of making a pathway for those in this industry to get what he now knew was possible and to make it predictable for them. Now, in the beginning, all we had was, maybe you've heard of the residual income business building simulator. That's that training game that some of you have heard about and are familiar with, and it's discussed in the book that you were talking about. But that's in the beginning, that's all that we had. In fact, he showed up at my place one day. He and I have been friends for a long time, and he said, I want to show you something. And he sat down, and here's this game that he's plopped down. It's a prototype. And I kind of looked at him a little bit like, what, are you crazy? What's this about? And I literally hadn't even gotten to the first payday before I pushed back from my chair and said, do you have any idea what you have here? And truly, what I experienced and what I saw was something that I knew could transform the business of network marketing. I've been in business for years and years. I've been a CPA for 18 years, and this is what I do. I help people create businesses that succeed predictably. And so when I saw that he was creating tools that could actually take this industry and make it possible for not just a few people to succeed, but thousands and tens and thousands and even millions of people, I got very excited and got involved, and the rest is history, as they say. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about the reality of predictability in building a business. If I'm starting a McDonald's franchise, or if I'm buying a McDonald's franchise, I'm going to spend $1.5–2 million or more to get this business, and I have a predictable return on investment. I'm practically guaranteed to succeed and get a certain return on that investment because it's so dialed in. And the reality is not everybody has $1.5–2 million plus hanging around to buy an existing franchise. And so you start finding less expensive options of things that have already been figured out. And not everybody has $600,000 or $300,000. Not everybody has $10,000. But when it comes to Nikken, everybody has a few $100s. Everyone has the means and the wherewithal, even if they have to in the beginning borrow the money. Everybody has the means to get started in a Nikken business. And you notice that I use the word business. Now, I am falling in love with the Nikken products. Our waterfall just arrived about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it's like my kids like drinking water again. And we're loving what it is that we see in these products that Nikken offers. Why? Because they're predictable. I don't have to wonder when I use the Nikken products, am I going to get the result that's promised? It's been designed, it's been scientifically designed. These products have been designed to predictably give a specific outcome. Now, at this point, people are not as predictable as the products and services that they're selling in network marketing. And the reality is that we have to become as predictable as the products and services that we sell. And when we do become as predictable as the products and services we sell, then we have a credible claim on success. And it's no mystery why that is. It's the same reason why the McDonald's franchise owner has a predictable claim on success. It's when we become as predictable as these amazing world-class products, it's because now we have become predictable. We've actually taken the steps to do things on purpose with purpose, and we let go of randomness. This is not a business where we are hoping and enrolling and then replacing. That's not what business is about. We get and keep distributors. We get and keep customers. The basic function of business is getting and keeping. Getting and keeping. Not having a momentary momentum, get some interest and then let it die, and then start over and get some more interest and let it die. And far too many are frustrated and tired and worn out, and that's simply a function of doing things randomly instead of predictably. So I want to talk to you a little bit about an engine. In my vehicle, when I get in my car to go somewhere, I'm not thinking to myself, gee, I hope I end up where I want to go. I actually have a specific direction, a specific destination, and I get there. Now, there might be a few different routes. I might take a left turn or a right turn, but I'm going to get there. I might stop and rest along the way, but I'm going to get there. It's very predictable. Now, the reason that I can have confidence in my engine, my car, I should say, my vehicle, is because the engine does 5 things over and over and over again. And if my engine decides that it's tired of doing any of those 5 things, or if it stops doing any of those 5 things, then my vehicle will stall or have to pull over to the side of the road. I'll be stuck in my journey. Now, I want you to think of Nikken being this amazing vehicle. And people have dreams and goals and desires. They want to get to their why. They want to achieve their greater causes and higher purposes. And so they are getting clear on where they want to go, and they've chosen this incredible vehicle called Nikken. Now let's talk about an engine for a minute. An engine does 5 things. Number 1, it intakes fuel. It intakes fuel. That's the first thing it does. And those of you who are watching or listening, I invite you to go ahead and write this down, these 5 specific functions of an engine, because we're going to apply them to your Nikken vehicle in just a minute. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to intake fuel. That's the first function of my engine, intake. Then I have to compress that fuel. So I intake, then I compress, that's number 2. Then I have to ignite the fuel. That's where the spark comes in. And that spark causes the 4th thing to happen, which is power. And then the final thing that happens in my engine is it exhausts. It clears the cylinder, ready to do what? To intake, compress, ignition, power, exhaust. Intake, compression, ignition, power, exhaust. Those 5 things happen over and over and over again. Intake, compression, ignition, power, exhaust. And I would encourage you to actually say that and repeat that so that you can actually understand that success in business is not about doing 12,000 things one time. Success in business is about doing 5 things over and over and over until the compound effect of you being predictable and duplicatable starts kicking in and working for you instead of against you. Many of you already are familiar with the compound effect. It's always working for you or against you. And what we're suggesting is that as you take and do these simple things over and over and over again in your business, that compound effect starts working for you. So what's the corollary? What are the 5 engine steps for your business? You've got this incredible Nikken vehicle. What is the engine of your Nikken vehicle? So let's talk about that. First, the thing that corresponds with intake of fuel is make a list. You make a list. Now, we have online training that makes it possible. If you have any question about how that works, you can watch a video, you can watch an audio, or listen to an audio. We have a number of these resources that make it possible for you to actually take these engine components and actually know how to do it effectively. You're going to learn that there's a way to segment your names list. Warm, cold, and chicken. And you're going to learn how to set up your names list so that it's a rich fuel source for your business. But that's the first part of your Nikken engine, is making a list and always having a powerful list. How big should your list be? We recommend that it always be 200 or more. We have found in our experience that if you have an effective names list of 200 or more and you're effectively contacting that list and doing the other engine processes that I'm about to tell you, that 6 figures is inevitable. Now, some of you are going to do it faster than 6 months. Some of you are going to take 2 years, 6 years. The speed with which you take the journey is less important than the fact that you're predictably getting where you want to go. And some of you have been at this for a while and are not yet getting the results you want. And we want you to get the results that you want. We want you to be able to do what your incredible leaders are asking you to. The third step of your Nikken engine is presenting. Present. That's the ignition. That's what corresponds to ignition. Make a list. Contact. Present. It's during the presentation that the entire realm of possibilities explodes, that it's ignited, that it becomes relevant to the individual. Here's where you're connecting the dots and helping them understand how the Nikken vehicle is the answer to the pain that they're experiencing. This is how they're going to get more of what they want and less of what they don't want. The fourth step, the fourth cycle of your Nikken engine, is follow-up. You may have heard the phrase, the fortune is in the follow-up. I want you to write down that the fortune or the power is in the follow-up. That's what powers your Nikken vehicle, is effective follow-up. And then number 5 is enroll. As you effectively contact, present, follow up, you will then be in a position to effectively enroll. And that enrollment process not only sets you up to have a new customer or associate in your organization, in your Nikken distribution business, but it also opens up a new realm of possibilities for those that you will have the privilege of working with, even getting referrals to add to your names list. And so just like our car engine, intakes fuel, compresses it, ignites it, which creates power, and then there's exhaust, which clears the cylinder so that it can start over. That's how your engine in your Nikken business is designed, must be designed to work. So number 1, make a list. Number 2, contact. Number 3, present. Number 4, follow up. Number 5, enroll. And it cycles again and again. Make a list, contact, present, follow up, enroll. And I want to invite you, as you're listening or as you're working with your team, as you're sharing this with your team, say this out loud. Say this cycle so that you understand how simple it is. This is not a complicated business. It's very simple and straightforward. But sometimes it's so simple that we have a tendency to want it not simple anymore. So we want to keep it simple. And so we want to install our engine, which helps us to now effectively make a list, contact, present, follow up, enroll. Make a list, contact, present, follow up, enroll. And each day as you wake up and before you go to bed at night, this is something you ought to be saying in your mind. Is my engine installed? Am I effectively making a list, contacting, presenting, following up, enrolling? So that I can do what? Effectively make a list, contact, present, follow up, enroll. Now, the thing that gets exciting is that when we get the simplicity of it down and become effective at each step of the engine process, we are now able to help our team members do the same. And that's what creates the real explosion of growth, is when we are doing things according to correct principles, not randomly. We're becoming as predictable as these amazing Nikken products. We're becoming predictable in what we do. Then we're teaching others to do the same. I like to talk about the fact that in my business I have children, those that I've directly sponsored. I have grandchildren, those that my children have sponsored. And then, of course, it goes from there. Great-grandkids, great-great-grandkids. Listen, I have a sixth great-grandmother, Jane Johnston Black, that I absolutely love. I've never met her. She died a long time ago. I would love it if she were here. And if she were here, we could fill the largest stadium in the United States, the largest sports stadium, with her posterity. And it would be an event that I wouldn't want to miss. I'd want to be there absolutely. And I would love the event. I would experience a wonderful feeling. Well, that's kind of like going to your national or international events with Nikken. This is like coming to a big event and getting to hear Dave Johnson speak. It's a wonderful event. It's a wonderful experience. But how many of you can realistically be personally tutored and mentored by Dave? It's impractical. And so we have big events so that we can associate with our sixth great-grandmother, as it were, metaphorically speaking. But the day-to-day, this is a business of teaching my children to help themselves, to teach their children to do the same. That's the power of this business. And when I'm building a business on purpose, with purpose, I'm not getting ahead of myself, and I'm not creating unduplicatable stuff that's surrounding me. I'm helping my children understand that to succeed and have this Nikken vehicle take them where they want to go, to get what they want in life, all they have to do is install the engine and make sure the engine is running properly. And then as they get their engine installed properly, and I, their parent, their sponsor, am going to help them install their engine, then they turn around and do the same for their children. And now we're not talking about a stadium. We're talking about just like the way it was meant to be in a normal family relationship, in the way life has been set up, where we have family organizations where we have parents and children and grandchildren. And how many of us in real life realistically are going to know our great-grandchildren or our great-great-grandchildren, or to be able to have meaningful interaction? But we will have meaningful interaction with our children and our grandchildren. And so when we focus in helping to create success with them and teaching them to do the same. That's what makes this business a business, instead of randomly running hither and thither. One day I'm on, one day I'm off. I'm talking about it one day, I don't know what I'm doing the next. That kind of thing that stalls the engine and has our Nikken vehicle pulled off to the side of the road, watching as others are going on, and we're feeling left behind. And all the while, the reality is that we have the power within us now to have our vehicle, our Nikken vehicle, driving that same success road that Dave Johnson has driven, that Ruth Williams has driven, that Dennis Estes is driving and has driven, that Reed Nielsen has driven and is driving. All of these things now become possible because now we're doing things in a manner that's turning us into individuals that are as predictable as these incredible Nikken products that we all know and love. Now, did you have a question, Dave?
Oh, I was just thinking about some of the things that you were talking about, William. That one of the things that's kind of made me cringe, I've heard it from the stage, is somebody will get up and say, you know, it doesn't matter what you say, because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. And I just think, oh my goodness, yes, you really can. And it really does matter what you say, and it matters what you do. And just listening to you, it just, you know, I've seen this happen. If people will figure this out, it gives them tremendous confidence if they already have it role played in their mind. And I think, again, that's the genius of the book, is they felt it emotionally as they've gone through the book. That they've almost done it psychologically, because, you know, the subconscious, it can't really distinguish between reality and that what you've kind of done practicing inside that book. And just this idea, I've heard it said that you know, that it's not enough to do your best. You must know what to do and then do your best. And so rather than ready, fire, aim, there's a lot of wisdom in this. And in fact, I've got the book open to this statement that you kind of kicked off with. You know, success is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. And success most often occurs by making correct choices in their proper sequence according to a proven, established pattern of success. And that's Clay Stevens. And you know, that's so good. And what you mentioned here, just to, you know, to become absolutely brilliant in these basic things, and then just repeat them until they become habits. And it just success, it can become a habit. It can be a recipe. And so, yeah, you're getting me excited.
That's awesome. Well, and we're excited because we don't want people to work 10 times harder than they have to. And that's the thing, is success is predictable. And yes, it takes time to get the engine installed, but let me just give you an industry average. And again, this is the entire direct sales industry on average. For every 100 people I contact, again, this is the industry average, I have to contact 100 people in order to get 3 to enroll with me or follow me. Now, with RI training, because we've designed a path, a 3-step success pattern that involves improve yourself, build a team, become a leader, so that you're actually following a pathway that's already been built so that you're not having to figure it out on your own. We've actually seen that number change to 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10.
That's astronomical.
That's exactly right. And so we're saying, look, if I've got a real business, I'm not out there. If I've got a McDonald's franchise, I'm not having to go out and interview 100 people to hire 3. No, I know how to go. I know how to go so I can interview a handful and get the people I need. Well, this business, our Nikken business, deserves to be treated with that kind of predictability and that kind of business building sense, so that we're not we're not making it 10 times harder on ourselves. If I'm able to contact 8 to 10 people and get 3 of those to join me in my business, now I'm talking about a 30% ratio rather than a 3%. So literally, what RI training does as we work with Nikken is we are making it possible for everyone within Nikken to be able to get results that they want 10 times faster, 10 times easier. And it's not by cutting corners. That's not what I'm saying. And it's not by just doing whatever with a lot of enthusiasm. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about doing simple things that anyone can do.
With skill.
With skill. That's it. Simple things that anyone can do as long as they're willing to do it effectively. So we help you set up your organization correctly in 14 to 30 days. That's what this 3-step success pattern talks about. And everything I'm telling you is in that book that Dave Johnson held up, 6 Figures in 6 Months. It talks about this 3-step success pattern. In the first 14 to 30 days, you're helping your new person quickly enroll 1 to 5 customers and associates so they can start getting their products for free. You're helping them increase their PEPs.
What is
talks
PEP?
about PEPs.
Mention that a little bit.
You bet. PEPs are personal effectiveness points. It's a diagnostic measure. So we use the engine analogy, and we talk about if my car breaks down and I take it into a shop, they're not going to randomly start replacing parts on my car. At least they better not. They're going to likely hook up my car to a machine, and it's going to quickly diagnose the issue so that they can go specifically to the thing that's not working in my engine. And we have the same thing. We have what we call a personal effectiveness profile, a PE profile, where you go online, you answer some questions, and as a result of answering these questions, it generates online a full diagnostic report that shows you color-coded, red, yellow, or green, the areas that you need to work on, the areas that you appear to have some current competence in, and those areas that you've mastered or that are not a problem for you, so that you don't have to bang your head against the wall wondering, my gosh, why isn't my Nikken vehicle getting me where I want to go? You now have the power to run a self-diagnostic and have it print out a report that shows you exactly what's holding you back. These specific things are what's keeping your engine from running like a well-oiled machine. And in the back of every one of those books that Dave held up, in the back of every one of those books is a code. So there's a free code that comes with the book that makes it possible for you to be able to go online and get that self-diagnostic assessment to find out, hey, where am I? Now I don't have to guess. And if I have somebody on my team that's stuck, wouldn't it be great to not have to guess and make up something? Well, you just got to try harder. Come on, throw more mud at the wall, and maybe some of it will stick. All these things that are tired and worn out statements, look, we've only done that because we haven't had something that's more predictable. Well, now we do. Now we have something that takes the guesswork out of it so that you no longer have to run your Nikken vehicle by chance, hoping that somehow the engine's going to fire and somehow it's going to process and become what you want it to be. So that's what PEPs are, and that's a key ingredient here. As our PEPs go up, as our red areas go from red to yellow and green, our confidence goes up. Why does our confidence go up? Because our competence has increased. Confidence comes from competence. Confidence comes from competence. And that's what we want. We've got an exciting year that we've only just begun. Yes, it feels like the days are ticking away. My goodness, February's almost over. But the majority of the year's ahead of us. we haven't even begun to scratch the surface when it comes to helping people set up their business, run their business, and effectively distribute these world-class, life-saving, life-changing Nikken products. I've talked with so many of you who have such a giving heart, such a desire to change the world, to bring these incredible products to the world. I want, and Dave wants, to help you do that. And the way we do that is by installing our engine, making sure that it's running effectively, and then we simply make sure we're not wasting time. An effectively running engine eliminates gobs and gobs and gobs of wasted time. Look, if someone on your team only has 10 hours to commit, do you want them to be using those 10 hours in a way that's ineffective? If they're using those 10 hours ineffectively, they're going to have to slosh through, contact 100 people to get 3 to follow them on average. How would you like to turn that 10 hours into 100 hours? That's what we're talking about here. That's what this book opens to your view on how that's possible. And I love hearing from Nikken distributors who are telling me, William, I couldn't put the book down. Oh my gosh, I thought it was a how-to book. Yeah, it's all that, but it's written like a novel. It's a story, so I can read. I couldn't put it down. I read it in 2 hours. Now, I'm not saying you got to read it in 2 hours, but if your experience is like a lot of other Nikken distributors, it's going to be something that's going to expand your mind and make it possible for you to see, oh, that's how I can build a predictable Nikken business. That's how I could be on the road to success and start achieving the kinds of things that Dennis and Reed and Dave and Ruth and other great leaders have been able to do. Now I have something that I can teach my children in the business, those that I've enrolled in the business. Now I have something that I can do to help my children teach their children, so that now we truly have a fully duplicatable process by which people can grow and move quickly into the build a team phase, and then from there quickly into the become a leader phase. And now we're not having a lack of leaders within our organization, because now we've grown them. We've grown our organization, and now Dave Johnson doesn't have to be everywhere, and Reed doesn't have to be everywhere, and Ruth and Dennis, these leaders don't have to be everywhere all the time. Just like my great-grandmother, my 6th great-grandmother can't be everywhere all the time, bless her heart. That's not what we want. We want something that is duplicatable so that it's not dependent on somebody who can't be here with us all the time. That's when your business starts becoming a rapid expansion, growing, vibrant business. Does that make sense? So these are the core principles, Dave, to your point, that help create the possibility for us to move from being product-centric to being business-centric. And listen, I'm acquiring more Nikken products. In fact, I just put a call in to Dennis Estes today to get some other products ordered. I am absolutely in love with what I'm finding out about these incredible products. But when I listen to Dennis Estes present, I'm not seeing him hiding behind these great products. These products are incredible, but Dennis is standing up with conviction and talking about a process of success. And he's talking about a predictable, reliable methodology and pattern that will get people where they want to go. See, that's exactly what we do, is we work with you to make everything that Dave is telling you to do, and Dennis and Ruth and Reed and all the wonderful leaders are telling you to do, we make it possible for you to do that effectively, so that you don't have to sit there scratching your head saying, oh my gosh, it seems easy for them. Why isn't it easy for me? It's easy for Dave because he has 100 peps. That's why it's easy. He's paid the price. He has the skills in place. He's doing things in a predictable way, not randomly.
I think if you don't do this, you're going to pay the price. Because I'm enjoying the price.
Yeah, there you go.
And, you know, the thing I love about this, William, is just at this very moment when we talk about prospects, I'll just tell you from just being out in the field and talking to people, the interest has been greater than it's ever been. People are really actively seeking out opportunity because the economy is just really mashing people. They're desperate. They're looking for something to believe in, some direction to put their effort and energy. This is just such a golden moment. And Nikken itself, everything is just so perfect right now. I love the new compensation plan. All of the products, they've been revamped, retooled, brand new fresh patents. They work better than ever. We just launched the Vital Balance, which I really believe could be the key to eliminate the whole health crisis. Because if you think about it, the great engine that's driving all the health problems right now basically is obesity. And people know that, but what can we do about it? Well, the thing that's affecting that is sugar. And we have a perfect recipe to help people get off that horrible addiction of sugar with just the very best product that is out there on the market, clearly superior. So we've got a lot of things to talk about, and all you have to do is get really good at it. And I love what you're saying, because success really is predictable. If you do certain things a certain way and then teach it to others, it's going to happen. So I am so excited to have this track to run on that you're providing for all of us. And I'm just pumped to. Could you share with maybe some people that have been reading the book maybe for some time, maybe even somebody outside of our company, that what's happened? What can you expect?
Sure. Thank you, Dave. And listen, my inbox is just smoking hot, day in and day out, with people telling me what a difference this has made in their business development. Not only are they now having a vision for what's possible because we've taken the mystery out of it, but now they're seeing that this transfers to not only their business in Nikken, but to every aspect of their life. They don't have to have randomness in their life. They can actually engage in a way that helps make them a greater person. I love what you said at the beginning, Dave, about reading books and building our knowledge, increasing our peps. Our entire life starts shifting. And as our life shifts, then the things that we want start coming into view. We're able to actually increase our income. We're actually able to increase our time, because now we're doing things effectively. So we're not wasting time. Oh, but yes, I have testimonials coming in from the book. Everything from you've just completely blown my mind to you've saved my marriage. That took my breath away one day. You've given me hope. Belief and hope are big ones. And as you know, Dave, in this industry, when people don't believe it's possible, then they don't engage. Yes, that works for others, but they haven't adopted that belief personally. And so they're still seeing this as something that others can achieve, but they can't. And one of the first things that we handle head on with this book is belief. Now people are telling us, for the first time, I believe that I can do it. Now I have a roadmap. Now I know what to tell the people that are getting in my business. You've laid it all out so that now I know, what do I do in the first 14 to 30 days? I've never been able to tell my people how to focus in. Where should I be spending my time? What should be my focus? Wow, you talk about enrolling 1 to 5 customers or associates in the first 14 to 30 days. I never understood how that was possible before. And now, this is one of my favorites, now all the people that are getting in my business are getting their fast start bonuses and their quick start. And of course, every company has different things they call it, but whatever it is that gets the ball rolling that shows, yes, I'm serious. Now that's become possible and predictable. So yeah, Dave, that's one of the favorite things as president. That's the thing that warms my heart and makes my feet hit the floor in the morning, is seeing lives impacted. And of course, then the ones that come in and say, I made my first check with a comma in it. I love those ones. Finally, I'm getting a check with a comma. And I'm saying, yes. And now you're going to have checks coming that have multiple digits on the other side of the comma. And what's great is not only are you going to achieve that success yourself within Nikken, but now you have a way to make it reliable and predictable for those that you're enrolling. Now you can look people in the eye with confidence and say, I am going to help you succeed. I'm going to help you set up your own distribution company so that you have the power to succeed on your terms. So, Dave, I could take another hour reviewing all of the wonderful things. I think the thing that's most important for those who maybe are hearing about this for the first time is, what's the next step? Well, the next step is take your profile, and there's one in the back of the book. There's get the book. It's available on Amazon. It's available. Some of the leaders already have links that make it possible.
Could you share that? Because I noticed on Amazon, I think it's $29, and we want a good deal. So what would be the best link for us
Sure.
to get that book?
Sure, and again, we're working with you, Dave, and with other leaders to make sure that your people have access to this and that it's aligning with everything that you're doing within your organizations, so that this is not a distraction in any way. It's an absolute accelerant to what you're doing. And so one link that's already been established that you should know about is the ritraining.com/magnetic. That's a link that was by working with Dennis Estes and Reed Nelson. That link was created, and other links will be made available. And what you want to do is you want to counsel with your upline to make sure that you're understanding how it is that this fits in with what they're already telling you to do within your Nikken business. Because at the end of the day, what we do is we make it possible for you to do what your upline is counseling you to do. We make it possible for you to do that 10 times easier. So that's the link that's available right now, Dave. And that's where you'll go. You'll click on a link when you go to ritraining.com/magnetic. You'll go to the top, and there's a link to go get products. And right there is an $18. We've taken 40% off just for you being in Nikken. And that's the kind of effort and support that we're committed to. We're committed to making sure that your people have access to profiles, they have access to this book, to the 3-step success pattern, so that they're taking advantage of everything that will make it 10 times easier for them.
Well, the best investment you can make is in yourself, and I think probably just no doubt about it, buy this book. It could change your whole life. And I would just like to say, why not you? Step it up. If you'd like to raise your game, and inside you're thinking, I'd like to make a difference. I would like to affect people. I'll tell you, with this vehicle and employing these enormous powers of leverage and influence that you can have, you can affect the lives of thousands of people. And it could happen in a couple of years, and yes, maybe even 6 months. But either way, it's going to be worth it. And so if you don't do it, I'm going to say you're going to pay the price. Come with us and enjoy the price. This is a bargain, not a sacrifice. So, wow, I appreciate your time, William, and looking forward to running with you in the years to come as we build a strong relationship and bring a lot of people along with us. It's going to be a great journey, and jump on and let's go for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.